Garbage men / woman of the world. What's the best / worst thing you have found thrown away? In the 80s I picked up a number of Philips color TVs. I had a few, so fixing them was just a question of swapping parts. I then sold them cheaply or gave them away to fellow students. My little brother was emptying out a client's buzzin' and everything was going to be thrown away, so my brother was told to keep anything he wanted. He saw a nice looking bike and took it. Turns out it was a Daihatsu P8 30th Anniversary Limited Edition and in perfect condition. From what I found on it, it goes for over $4,000. I worked as a garbage man in 1972. A small stray cat jumped into the back of the hopper to look for food. I took him home and named him Saigon. This was the best thing. Second best thing, someone threw out an old pair of skis. There was snow on the ground and me and the other guy each took a ski and stood on it and held onto the truck. Great fun. Third best, we found an entire case of Brylcreem. Look it up. And me and the other guy had Brylcreem fights all day. Total mess. I stripped off before going into my house after work. Worst things, a garbage can that had live coals in it that started our truck on fire. Not me but my brother. Someone apparently threw out Grandpa's stuff from the attic after he passed away. This was the last scheduled pickup at the house and everything was already moved out. Nobody living there. Driving an automated, claw to grab and dump, truck. My brother was irritated. There were these 2 bowling bags he had to get out to throw in the truck. He realized they seemed a bit heavy, so he opened them to see why. Inside there was real silverware / flatware. He ended up selling it for scrap prices to a jeweler and got $3,000. My dad was a trash man when I was growing up. He would always be bringing cool stuff home to us. He used to always say that the poor neighborhoods had the most trash and they threw away literally everything. The 2 best ones that I can think of was a brand new BMX bike and like 20 Nintendo 64 games that he found at a video rental store. Also, once at the transfer station, one of his co-workers found a dummy arm in the big pile of trash. He pulled it and it ended up being a dead guy. The police later determined that it was a homeless person that got picked up and died when the trash truck compacted him. In Philly, the students at Penn, especially rich overseas folks, will often leave crazy expensive clothes, electronics, kitchen items and furniture in the trash when the scholastic year is done. Just toss it out. ETA, about 50 of you from Boston have told me about Alston Christmas. Stop already. Also, I know that this happens at lots of colleges. The local college best known for this is Pennsylvania. In the early 2000s, my best friend's dad was a garage man. I used to hang out at their house a lot and I remember him finding uncut sheets of Hollinger Pike Dragon Ball Z trading cards in the trash and bringing them back. They were super dope to see. Elaine Cedar Chest. I was helping my dad clean out this lady's garage and she said as long as we're there, we might as well take that, too. She said she always hated the smell of cedar but her husband wouldn't let her get rid of it, and now that he was dead, she was sending it on its way. The veneer was never in great shape but it still keeps my wool items safe. I've had it for over 30 years now. I'm not a garbage man, but I once scored a whole custom-built staircase from a dumpster. It was in perfect condition but apparently built to the wrong spec. It worked great for my barn. Found a 55-inch TV next to the dumpster 4 years ago. It was missing one HDMI port on the side. It looked like someone might have tripped and ripped it out. Anyway, I opened it up, googled the motherboard serial number and found a brand new replacement for like $60 less than 25 minutes away. Needless to say, I called ahead on my day off, picked it up and it works like a charm. Still use the TV to this day. 55 inches Sony 2012 LCD TV. I have Chromecast with Google TV hooked up to it now and it's awesome. 2021 and going strong. I worked in the scrap metal business and have found not one, but 2 of 3 exact same bread statue, of 2 bears screwing each other brass statue. My bad. My friend found a PS4, excellent condition, and a brand new controller still in the box. Not a garbage person, but I live in a large apartment complex. I could have furnished multiple apartments with all the stuff that gets thrown out here, and partially furnished mine, but the best thing I've seen in the pile was one of those grandfather clocks you can make from a kit. Still looked very nice, but it needed some fixing to get it to run again. I'm still waiting to find a piano. I would like a piano. Worked as a garbage man for a very short time last summer, but the best thing I found was an edition of my local newspaper from the day after the Challenger exploded. Not a garbage collector, but here's a cool story about how garbage collectors in Ankara, Turkey gathered a bunch of books that were thrown away. They then bring them back to the depot where there's a library's worth of books now. They've saved about 20,000 books from the incinerator. One person's trash is indeed another's treasure. It's always trash can, and never trash cannot. Finally something I can contribute to. I do trash at apartments. In the year I've worked the job, I've found and kept a couch, 2 desk chairs, a floor lamp, deck furniture, a TV stand, my cat, various decorations I've given to my mom, some things I've sold, a bike, $40 some outdoor vases, $30 a bed frame, $50 an original Xbox with at least 80 games all in a box, $20 to my friend that collects old video games. But yeah, it's crazy what people throw away. Once I found a perfectly good stationary bike that my neighbors threw out that I cleaned up then used for years. Can't believe this day comes only 52 times a year. Obligatory, not a garbage man, but once many years ago I was asked to deliver books left over from a church rummage sale to a minimum security woman's prison. The books almost filled the bed of my pickup. When I got there, 6 inmates were assigned to unload the books. You would have thought all those musty paperbacks were made of gold. The women were delighted and very grateful. Friend of ours found 2 bullet-resistant vests with paramedic written across them, being thrown out behind a fire station. I guess the expire or something. Before I was born, my mother found a huge painting of mushrooms. It's blue and yellow and certain parts of it glow in the dark. It's one of the few things I have of her and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and my description gives it no justice. Mushroom picture smile. When I was a kid, my dad worked for a company that hauled away dumpsters and at one point found an old alto sax complete in the box. Ended up playing it for 4 years up until high school when it was stolen. Couldn't play after that since my family couldn't afford a rental, let alone pay for a new one. My uncle was, still is, a garbage man and found a fully boxed Power Rangers Megazord toy. I don't remember which season or what, but it had been previously opened and all of the parts and such were still inside. I don't remember if they sold it off or what, but it was super cool to see. A part of me feels like maybe a collector tossed their boxes away and mistakenly threw the whole figure with it, or some kid's parents ditched it while cleaning up after a birthday or Christmas. I don't know, but feels bought. I found a cardboard cutout from the Mr. and Mrs. Smith movie release when it was in theaters. I put Mr. Smith on one side of the truck and Mrs. Smith on the other side. Got a few fun honks going down the road with a gorgeous Angelina Jolie on the back of a trash truck. Not a garbage person, but I just wanted to say the garbage people are severely underrated. In movies they're shown as the people who had no aspirations, but if no one did that job the streets would be very dirty, and that is not good. So to all the garbage people who see this, thank you, smile. One time my brother, who was working as a garbage man at the time, brought me back a brand new Nintendo DS for my birthday. He really lucked into that one. I worked at a garbage plant building new trash silos and all I got was Weil's disease, leptospirosis, from the rat piss on the garbage. I was ill for weeks. Not a garbage man, but was once unloading things at the local dump and some sod threw away a 5 feet long 1.5 inches thick solid copper pole. Hell yeah, I snatched that shit. Living near Dollar College, you wouldn't believe the shit kids chuck when they are in a hurry to move out. A few springs ago I found a very nice Banana Republic brown leather bomber jacket with puke soup on the sleeve. I wiped it down with Armor All, vacuumed the crumbs from the pockets and sold it for $125 that night. My best haul was a nightclub that had a minor fire on their outdoor deck and they decided to gut and remodel the whole place. I pulled from the dumpster 3 preamps, 2 300W stage speakers and a guitar amp. Sold all for $500 the next weekend. Garbage men and pickup artists should swap titles, honestly. Not a garbage man, but I once found a Hooner Arbor Series Telecaster electric guitar in the trash. Had someone fix it up, and it plays like a goddamn dream. Kind of out of the trash. When people drop off their stuff at the municipal recycling center, they sort out stuff that still looks good and sell it for cheap at a sort of thrift shop. That's how I got my Gaggia Peros coffee machine for €8. After thorough cleaning and getting new parts for another €50, it was good to go. If you buy them used they go for around €200. Something comparable costs new about €600. https://www.emgbox.user/fxd/cram/peros jpg. Not a garbage man, but someone dumped a 6x3 patch of drooping agapanthus on the side of the road. Managed to get it into the back of a Rhino ATV to get it home. I sawed that monstrosity into like 18 patches, most lining my yard, and some potted. I was so excited. It really helped get me started into gardening. Now I'm propagating bird of paradise, jade, and some other plants I'd the name of. I also potted 2 ash tree seedlings for future transplant, but I might try to bonsai one. James Franco's handwritten poetry. Franco was getting his MFA at my school, where I did work study on the garbage/recycling crew. Lots of great and hilarious finds, but that's the most memorable. I got a 1944 Mills hand grenade that someone had thrown out. I used to remodel Sam's Clubs. If a case of juice that's meant to be sold is separated, they throw it out. I used to take it to shelters, if I could catch them before it went in the dumpster. Display items, like end tables, patio umbrellas, and in one case, a leather recliner with a small rip in the bottom, are thrown out. Vegetables and fruit are thrown out. Took them home for horses, rabbits, and other animals. I'm not a garbage person, but over 90% of my apartment is thanks to roadside picks. My TV is my best find. The only thing I can find that's wrong with it is the top left corner shelling/covering has a small piece missing on it. I put some duct tape on it, but it works perfectly and was even tossed out with the remote. I work on the tractors at our local landfill sometimes. The first time I was out there I saw an operator pull a 50-pound bag of dog food and a pack of cupcakes out of the pile. I asked him what he could possibly want with those and he looked at me like I was an idiot and said, "What?" "Something for the dog and something for me." Then he leaned up against the tracks and ate one of those cupcakes. Used to dumpster produce pretty often from behind the grocery store until they started locking the dumpsters because apparently poor people should just starve and the perfectly good produce should just be thrown away. Obligatory not a garbage man, but I found one of those Yeti coolers once. I didn't keep it BC, it was full of gross liquid, but my so was like, those things clean out, you know. Not me nor my mom is a garbage woman, but when she was working abroad and she noticed something that was glaring from a dumpster on the way back to work and found a very expensive backpack brand new, and waited hours if someone had left it, the backpack was empty obviously, and a month later she also found a very expensive leather jacket unused and a fresh pair of Nike, which I use to this day, at the same dumpster. She also said that a friend of her also found a diamond engagement ring and a golden necklace from a different dumpster. I think it was thrown away by either rich people or spoiled brats. I used to collect the recycling rather than the trash, and back then we had to sort it at the truck if the person hadn't separated. One house repeatedly put used condoms in with the plastics. In the end my crewmate knocked and informed the 80-something-year-old man that they weren't recyclable.